Okay, everyone, I want to get right to it today. I want to talk to you about your businesses, and I want to talk to you about what really makes it move, what really matters in business. We often talk and hear speeches in WFG, myself included, TFA, about identity and belief and leadership building and how we think and being positive and hard work and all these intangible things. But at the end of the day, it's the tangible things, it's the real things that make businesses grow or die. In our business, it's the ability to get somebody to produce a result, or what I call closing. Closing's a nice way of saying, or a harsh way of saying, I guess, getting people to do things that are in their best interest, persuading people to say yes. And in our business, if you can't persuade people to say yes, you're going to lose. In our business, it's yes to the opportunity and yes to our financial products. And at the end of the day, what our business comes down to is, can you close? Can you get a check? Can you get people to say yes to you, to buy a product from you or to buy our business from you? And then from there, it's your proficiency level, your ability to transfer that skill of closing people to other people. And if you can't do it, you're going to lose. It's the number 1 skill, it's the number 2 skill, it's the number 5 skill, it's the number 10 skill in our business. I don't care what list you have, it's by far the most important thing, and it's the most important thing multiplied by 10 times other things you could come up with. The ability to get people to say yes, the ability to give a presentation, at the end of it they say yes, the ability to overcome objections when someone says the basic things in our business. I want to think about it. It's too much money. I don't want to be a salesperson. I read something on the internet. I want to talk to my wife. Is this network marketing? Whatever the questions are, the objections you get, your ability to overcome them and move to yes. If you can't do that, you're going to lose here. If you can't train people to do that, you're going to lose here. If your meetings don't train people to do that, people will stop coming to those meetings. We spend way too much time. My hallucination is you and your office spend way too much time on motivating, inspiring speeches instead of teaching. Instead of actually getting people to do our craft, to become professionals, to get yourself to do it. You think about it, if you drew a line in the sand, you said, these are all the people in our organization's history that have gotten a check or have gotten to SMD. And then on the other side are all the people who didn't get to SMD or have never gotten a check. What do all the people who've gotten a check, or let's just say got to SMD, which is just a basic level in our company of proficiency, have gotten to that level, what do they all have in common? Well, not a lot. Some of them are smart, some of them aren't so smart. Some of them are Caucasian, some of them are Asian, black, Hispanic, you name it. Some of them are tall, some of them are short. Some of them are men, some of them are women. Some of them are immigrants, some were born in our country. They don't have a whole lot in common. Some are married, some are single, some are old, some are young. What do they have in common? They can all close. They can all get a yes, or at least at one time in their career, they developed the ability to give a presentation. At the end of it, somebody said yes. They knew the words. They knew how to say. They knew what to say when someone says, well, give me some time. Let me think about it. Or is this too much money? Or, I read this. Or is this network marketing? Or, the basic stuff, right? They're not mysteries. There's only about 8 or 10 things people say to us to object. There aren't 800. There's 8 or 10 basic ones. And when you can overcome those things and give a presentation, you win. We know they can do this because we wouldn't have sent them a check without their ability to do it. I'm positive they could do it at one point because we sent them a check. All these other people over here who didn't make it, didn't get a check, or didn't get to SMD, what all them in common? Some are smart, some aren't so smart. Some are black, some are white, some are Asian, some are Hispanic. You get the point. Some are tall, some are short. They got all that in common too. What do they all for sure have in common? They can't close. They can't get a check. That's why we never sent them one. That's why they quit. That's why people quit on you. Be very clear. People quit on you, or you will quit based on your ability or inability to close. When you can close, you're going to do our business. And when you can close and then you can teach people how to persuade people, which is closing, you're really going to build something significant. We talk all the time in our business about building leaders. I want to build leaders. Scratch that. What you really want to do is develop people's abilities. That's what building leaders means, developing their abilities. When you can begin to develop someone's ability to close and produce a result, in fact, your whole career hinges not on your motivation level, not on your beliefs necessarily, because your beliefs are tied to your ability. They're hinged on whether or not you can get checks from people, whether you can get people to say yes, whether you can persuade people. And then the degree to which you succeed here will be predicated upon simply this. How good are you at transferring that skill to how many people? The more people you can transfer the ability to get yeses to, the better your business is going to do. Excuse me, the lights went out here on my computer. I'm going to give myself a little bit more light. And so that's what's going to be the difference maker in your career. People say, well, what about beliefs? Well, developing somebody is really two things. It's developing their skills and developing their beliefs. Well, which is more important? I don't know. I know this. If I can really do something very well, I begin to believe more in my business. And so I would say probably the skill set of being able to do something is more important than believing me, because once you get me to be able to do something, I believe I can do it. My beliefs go up that I can succeed at something. Let me give you an example. If I were running a gym, or I were a trainer at a gym, and I brought you into my gym, and all I ever did was motivate you, you're going to be so fit. You're going to be one of the great workout people of all time. You're going to be in incredible shape. You know how great this dream's going to be. It's going to be amazing how fit you are. But I never teach you how to use any of the equipment. I never teach you how to produce any results. But week after week, you come in and you think we're going to work out. You think I'm going to train you on how to use the equipment. That would be normal. But I don't. You come down every week to my gym and I motivate you. I give you a pep talk. I give you a speech. I talk about a whole bunch of things that really don't matter week after week. If you stop showing up after a while, should it surprise me if I owned a gym and you came down there every Tuesday night and every Saturday and I never showed you how to use any of the equipment? Or very rarely did I. See, what starts to happen is when you come to the gym, you start to not know how to use the equipment. You don't want to use it. Heck, you might embarrass yourself if you use it. You might even hurt yourself and look bad if you started to try to do this workout thing I've never taught you how to do. And the more and more you come down, the more and more you begin to get scared of doing it because I've not taught you how to do it. The more your body doesn't change, the more you stop showing up and you eventually quit. It ought not to surprise me if I own a gym. It ought not to surprise you if you own a WFG business. Your ability to train people how to use the equipment of WFG, which is closing, is everything. It's everything plus everything else you could come up with. If we owned a jewelry store, I said this earlier, we own a jewelry store, your success is predicated on your ability to get them to buy jewelry. If you owned a Domino's Pizza, your success is predicated on your ability to get people to buy pizza. If you owned a Jiffy Lube, your success is predicated upon your ability to get people to do oil changes with you, closing them, persuading them to do things that are in their best interest. They ought to change their oil. They ought to get a pizza from time to time. They ought to have a nice piece of jewelry. But it doesn't matter how motivated you are if you can't do it. And so what I'm telling you is everything in our business is closing, is the ability to teach people to close. Ask yourself a question on a scale of 1 to 10. If you think, let's say I'm a good closer, or your executive vice chairman's a good closer. 1 to 10, if they're a 10, where are you? And that's where your income is. That's where your success level is in WFG. It's not that you're not motivated. It's not that you haven't bought the dream. It's not that you don't love the company. It's that you can't close, or you only close okay. And then how many people have you developed that can really produce a result? They can give a presentation. They can do a hiring interview, recruiting interview. They can go in the field and they can get a check. That's a business. Our business is actually very easy. It's very simple. It takes no talent. It's all skills. Once somebody develops skills, their beliefs go through the roof. But you can't fool me. You can't get me all motivated about something I know I'm not skilled yet at doing. You can give me every speech you want Tuesday nights. I can come to every convention and every wealth bowl you ever put on. But the fact of the matter is, you are not going to convince me I can do something you've not equipped me to do. Get into the business of equipping yourself, equipping your teammates. Start listening to tapes about closing, reading books about closing, studying the closers in your office, demanding more of it in your office, teaching more of it in your office. If you're licensed and you're not a great closer, suck it up and go get field trained. Lose a little money short term to go get re-field trained and learn how to do this correctly. If you are not licensed now, field training is everything. It's where you learn to close. Go give up 3 or 4 or 5 sales to learn how to do something, to be equipped to have a career that can produce hundreds and thousands of sales in your business. Don't think so short term about Jim and Sally and Larry down the street, the 3 sales you're going to hold on to that you don't know how to do anyway, and go out there and get field trained with these 3 people. Let us get some referrals, and now you've got a career and you can run a company that produces hundreds and thousands of jewelry sold, pizzas sold, financial instruments sold, and people recruited. You get the concept. The ability to persuade people, the ability to close, and the ability to transfer that skill to people is our business. Get better at it. Spend more time on it. You ought to be spending 80% minimum of your waking time working on your skills at closing. Your meetings ought to be 80% about how to present, how to close, how the product works, how recruiting works, how to get someone closed in a recruiting interview. 80% of the time on that, 20% inspiring. My bet is it's 10% of the time you work on it privately on your off hours, maybe 10% of the time at your office, and 80 or 90% is wasted air. Stop trying to be so dadgum motivational. Worst thing in the world is get me all motivated and inspired about something I'm not equipped to do. I can't run a race I'm fired up to run without any running shoes. You can get me as excited as you want to come to the gym and get all fit. If I don't know how to use the equipment, nothing's going to change. And when nothing changes, I quit. And that's going to be the same for you in the business. 80% of your private time ought to be reading books, listening to tapes, studying people about persuasion and getting them good at closing, refining your presentation, overcoming objections. 80% of the time you spend with me as your recruit or your business partner, especially initially, especially the first 6 months, ought to be about closing and persuading. Give me your presentation. I'll say it, then you say it. I say it, then you say it. Okay, what are you going to say when they say I want to think about it? Boom, 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 boom. You go back and forth and role play. All right, God bless.